why, but I can't hear you, bro. I'll be right back. I can't hear you. Dang. Hang on. Got I don't got my Bluetooth connected or nothing, so should be able to hear you, but I can't. I don't know why. You are in the show. Everyone can see and hear you. Okay, but I can't hear the host. That's crazy. Should I leave and come back or something?
It was me. It was my mic. It was my mic. We should be good now, though. The topic of discussion for tonight: does hookup culture destroy women's value? Open debate. Anybody can hop on. I hope y'all staying warm.
All right. We got
Yeah, you
action.
should be able to hear me now, bro. It was me.
I know.
It was me. Yes, sir. Man, did you catch the episode last weekend? Did
No
you happen to catch it?
Sirski.
Man, we could react to that, bro. I could just play it on the big screen and react to it because I don't know how to really share this screen and pull up videos through this. That would
Okay.
be nice. But I could pull it up, man, and just react to that. Or I got plenty of topics. We gonna see who else can pop in. I think C said he gonna pop in, but Bree couldn't make it, and so it's just gonna be the fellas, and unless because we had some other people pop in, but they don't usually be popping in until about 10, 15 minutes in though. But the topic of discussion is does hookup culture destroy women's values? So we gonna pop it off with that.
Oh,
We're gonna
absolutely. For sure. Yeah. Well,
100%.
yeah. I mean,
But
it
why you
destroy
say that?
our value too, but not. Yeah, it destroy our value too. I would say that.
But not
I
to the
would say that
extent.
because if we, it's not as in society, our value is not diminished as low as the woman's value is hooking up, because when we hook up with a woman, we've conquered her because we're plugging into them. A woman can literally walk down the street and flirt with a man and bring him home just like that. We have to earn the right to enter in between their legs. Um, and
Gotta be
so
doing
when we,
something right.
yeah, huh?
Say we gotta be doing something right.
We got to be doing something right. So it's a form of conquering them, whether we conquered it emotionally, mentally. We've conquered her, and now we are on top of her literally, and we can have our way. But if we're gonna go into like a spiritual side of it, we both are diminishing our value because sexual immorality is the only sin in the scriptures that God says flee from. You flee. And on top of that, I think that we honestly, because we are so valuable, I think that we are diminishing ourselves even more dealing with a woman that's immoral that we can, have a quick flim with. Because I say that because in the scriptures it say that when we lay with a unvirtuous woman, we lower our value down to a piece of bread. That's what it says in the scripture. Um, and that is because when you think about it in just a life aspect, men have a higher success rate of raising children by themselves versus a woman. 90% of the time, if a girl or a boy is raised by a man, they're going to be successful 90%, 95% of the time, statistically.
Yeah, I ran across
Um,
that before too.
you know what I mean? Uh, Not only that, a man can raise a boy into a man. Not only that, a man can raise a girl into a virtuous woman. Not only that, a man can teach and guide a woman into womanhood who really wants to, turn away from her Jezebel spirited type of ways and things like that. Men build societies, men build and create the laws to protect the weak and the women. So our value is so high. I think when we really look at it from a broad perspective, we are really hurting ourselves the most. Even though in a misogynistic way, we think like, ah, yeah, look at what I did. I didn't conquer her. Look, I didn't got this. I didn't got that. Right? Yeah, I slapped them cheeks. But it's like you just lost 2,000 calories busting that nut.
Energy then
You
came out. You didn't
energy then came
transfer
out for
energy.
you. On top of that, everybody that she's laid with is now on your essence and on your aura. And men who are disciplined or have, or more in tune with God, they can feel that when they lay with the wrong woman. Like, dang, what was that? You know what I mean? Because a woman is going to take from you, period. Especially when we lay with her. She taking our energy, bruh. She could take our semen. On top of that, every time we lay with a woman, she takes part of our DNA is imprinted upon her. So she literally is taking us. That's why in the scripture, I'm not trying to be biblically, but I just can't help it. In the scriptures, it say that when we lie with a woman, she is your wife and you all are one. And that's why when you go into it in a scientific and or biological way of thinking, you're like,
It
that's
say some
what
shit
they
in
meant.
that book, don't it?
Huh?
I say it say some shit in that book, don't it?
Oh yeah, for sure. So yeah, that's my take on that. But what was last week about?
Man, I gotta play it on this. I'm about to play it on. I'm gonna pull it up on this screen. If we don't get nobody else in a few seconds, I'm gonna pull it up on this screen, bro. We can dissect this shit. This shit is crazy. We gonna have to stop. We'll be all night trying to do this shit, but man, it was crazy, bro. Should I just tell you basically,
Yeah,
man?
lay it on me.
The thing is this, right? Well, we had a guest, and I don't want to talk behind nobody back, but when we do reactions, I'd rather react to my own videos than somebody else's. So anyway, if we're gonna do a reaction, we got to talk about it anyway. But we had a guest. I never met her before, but she was an older lady. She said she was like 65 or something like that, and
65? She wasn't married, was she?
no,
Man,
and,
something
and,
wrong with
and
her.
I mean everything that was being said. It was like this. I just took the higher road. Like we could have. It was some things that kind of stopped us from going back and forth and stuff like that. But if you see it, you'll just see like I just took the chill route and stuff like that. But I mean, it was a lot of contradictions. It was a lot of perpetuation instead of warning the younger women and not to end up 65 and single and things of this sort. So I mean, so I
Because the
mean, I,
only
I
man
I
that's
love
gonna
the
want
ideas
her
that
is
are coming on and stuff, but but really it was not too many. If you watch the whole thing, it's kind of a teaching point because she started coming on the art side. You know what I'm saying? But it was so subtle. A lot of people ain't gonna catch it. Like if we was drama going back and forth,
right.
it'd be more. You get a lot more eyes and stuff like that. But I might pull it up. But man, my mantra is right now. I just want to say this because I meant to say this. You hopped on quick, but I appreciate it too. But I meant to say this. My suggestion to all the any guys is watching is become the best version of yourself, and then choose from the options that you have.
Ooh wee. Yes.
So what that may look like, you discipline, you got stuff, your life in order, you fit, you making money, you got some motion, and then boom,
Yeah.
do your thing. But
I agree with you 120%, man. You absolutely correct, bruh. Because, you know, that's been my downfall. Part of my downfall, like my whole life, is chasing women. Because, in our culture, um, when you don't own or control any resources, or you don't own or control things that actually push the world. I mean, we don't really own or control nothing as culturally. And you know, in our culture, we some of us were taught as young boys that the more women you have, the more of a man that you are. The more
Mm.
women that you can conquer or manipulate or lay with or get to bend to your will, the more of a man you are. And I've succumbed to that. And I've been in situations with women where, you get a certain type of disrespect or a certain type of scowl or looks because of things that you may lack. So what you're saying is so true, because since I've been on this, grind of mine, as far as I want to do maximize my potential, become who I'm supposed to be, you know, it's like certain women I used to deal with, like reaching back out and stuff like that. And I'm not exactly where I want to be, but they like see the energy and see the momentum, and they're like, "What do you got going on?" And I can tell
It's
that they
crazy. It's
just
ironic
popping
how
up.
shit works.
I could tell, like, damn, they just popping up to see what I got, to see where I'm at, right? Where I'm at now, what I got going on. Does he have a car now? Did he move? Does he have a new career? Things like that. And women to do that because innate biologically, when they get out here into the real world, they biology screams to them, you need a man. When things start going a certain way. But a lot of them don't really know how to find a man, let
It's
alone how to
funny that you
respect,
bring that up.
love, and treat a man.
Let me jump in. My bad. It's funny that you bring that up because last week the topic was do women run out of time when it comes to, like, getting a man that they love, admire, and respect to marry them, or do they always have accessibility to this and stuff, like, so basically it was like, do women run out of time to get basically married? And that was the topic. And she came out like most of them, they came out like, oh, we never run out of time. And then when I started breaking it down to them, they was like, and just the simplest stuff, like we asked somebody, it was like 6 people on last week, we asked somebody, one of the dudes was like our editor, he was like, yeah, right now I just I wouldn't go for any. If I was taking a woman serious, I wouldn't go for a woman that had kids because I don't have no kids. And I said, boom. So that a chick with kids then ran out of time with this gentleman right here, and,
Absolutely. Any
and it keeps
man,
going on and on. It's levels.
absolutely. Give me 1 second. Right about this camera.
Okay, yeah, man, it
Any
was.
any
I would have loved.
man,
Hey, if you was there last week, bro, it would have been crazy. It would have been wild. I think you froze, but man, we could talk about it. The next topic was majority of men are still husband material. Majority of women are not wife material. And that would be the next thing once we get you out this free zone. But man, I'm gonna do a reaction to last week. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pull it up on my TV. Hold up, y'all. There we go. We about to do a live reaction to last week. Oh yeah, here we go. You look good. You miss you. This is the season. This is the season. Oh goodness. Let's see where we started getting into it. As long as we respect you as that man. That's all right. That's how it goes. I understand. I would thank you both. All right, we're gonna break this down, y'all. All right, so let's get into the topic. This is we doing a live reaction to last week's. It is, do women run out of chances? Never. Do women, where is that? At what point do women run out of chances, or do you think women have unlimited opportunity? Women never run out of chances. We can stop it right there. Last week I should have stopped it right there. Women never run out of. Yeah, I'm about to name about 5 circumstances when women run out of chances right now. It's levels to this. If a woman goes into sex work, you gonna run out of chance to get a certain type of husband. If you over 30, the older you get, women gonna run out of chance to get a husband. So certain guys ain't gonna take you serious. If you got kids, you gonna run out of chances with certain guys. They ain't gonna take you serious. If you didn't hit, if you well known and didn't hit a lot of people in the city, they ain't gonna take you serious. It's crazy.
All right, I'm back.
My brother, what's good, man? Hey, I didn't pull it up on the screen, bro. So hey, we ain't gonna never run out of stuff. Look, hey, I just want you to hear this first question.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I was gonna go right back on what we was talking about.
Oh, you got something? What you was about to say, brother?
We were saying, like, do women ever run out of time? I would say absolutely, because I don't know any men that have they life together that would say, yeah, I want to be with a woman that got kids and I'm gonna take care of them and I want to be with her and marry her. Nah, that's why most men look at Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick, what he get? Bill Belichick got him a young tenderoni because he can still produce more than likely. 2, he got his life together, so he don't have to settle for a woman that's in his age that he's not that going to be that attracted to, or may not even be attracted to at all if she's not physically in shape. Because everybody say, "Oh, just the book by its cover, bro." We talk to women based off of their physical appearance first. So your physical appearance is everything. And then 2, when we start to ask questions like, "You have children? Oh man, you got multiple." I can't even take you serious now because I'm like, okay, you 30 some years old, you got kids, and now you saying you want to I hate that on dating apps. Like, especially it seemed like I'm not trying to do the black thing, but like bruh, black women be like the most audacious with it. Like they'll wait until they like in their 30s, got big, not cute no more, and now you want to get married. Like, no, who's gonna marry you? Why don't you marry the guy that puts the kids in you? Why you ain't?
I mean, they could get married, but it's like I said, it's levels to it.
Only certain men are going to marry a woman that already has children. I'm not that type of man. I ain't doing it.
It's a salute to him, but I mean, it's a certain type.
I think a man that accepts a woman with other kids is weak. My personal opinion. because historically when we look at men who took care of kids that wasn't theirs, they always got abused. I've seen it firsthand with my dad. My dad raised me, may he rest in peace. I don't know who my biological father is, but he raised me. He was always good to me. He was always good to my sister. A phenomenal man. um, and my mom was a low down dirty woman to him. She was planning on moving to a whole nother city without even him knowing. And this man sacrificed 13 and a half years of his life to raising us. And she upped and decided we were going to move to Cincinnati. And my dad didn't even know. I thought he knew. I was just telling him what was going on and what mom been talking about for the last 2 years since I was 12. And he burst out crying. He couldn't believe that my mom was, was going to do this to him. And so these, I'm not saying that every woman is like my mother, because they're not, but majority are. Because what we see in the community, and we can agree or disagree with this, is that it seems like the men that actually try and the men that actually are good to their children, it seems like those are the ones that women, you know, want to like make suffer. My a coworker of mine told me that he had found a girl cheating on him, and so he said his reaction was he closed the bedroom door, ran into the bathroom, and started calling another woman. He said she burst the door open, attacked him. His shoulder, his arm popped out of socket and everything. And he was talking about how he remembered she was lying, but he thought she was serious at the time. Like she was pregnant and everything. And he told me she told him at the time that I don't care if you do everything the right way and you be a good father. I'm gonna make your life a living hell. And so this is the reality that a lot of us black men deal with, and a lot of black women have this messed up way of thinking, and not all of them, because all of them are not like that, but the
Listen, it's,
debauchery
it's
is
crazy
real.
times right now, bro. I'm gonna say this while it's on my mind, man. Cause look, I was thinking this like, man, and where I work and stuff, and I don't want to disclose too much, but it's like you'll never know. It's like just like you said, it's not all of them, right? But the thing about today's time, you'll never know. Like they'll have on the uniform, and we'll be like, we'll just be not even trying to pass judgment, but just being human and be like, man, I can't tell if you a wholesome girl or if you was a wholesome girl. Like I can't tell whether you wholesome or if you a hoe or something. I can't tell whether you wholesome or whether you a hoe or something.
Right.
I
Nah, for
can't
real.
tell.
I ain't gonna lie. It's certain women that have certain careers that I just will never date and take serious. Like I might jump on them, but like as far as like date them and take them serious, it's certain women that I like with certain careers that just are a red flag. Prime example: any woman in any type of hospital field or medical field or healthcare
They
field,
got a bad rep.
hoes. Not all of them, but 98%. Um, most STNAs I know go. Nurses too. Um, I have a friend that's in nursing school, and I have a buddy that's an actual nurse, and they they both told me that they will never date a woman in the medical field because everybody fucking everybody, like Houston, Texas.
And
And a
you know
lot of
what?
these women are married too.
Yeah,
One thing
I hear the
about
horror story.
one thing I know about men, a lot of men are very naive to the hypersexual nature of a woman. Very naive. Most men are very naive to the hypersexual nature of a woman. And I say that because I've been a victim. A lot of boys are victims of hypersexual women who molested us as youth. And because we live in a misogynistic world amongst ourselves as men, we wear it as a badge of honor when we really were violated at 7, 8, 9, 10 years old by our babysitters that were grown adults or godmothers that were grown adults. That happened to me twice, you know.
Wow.
And I say all that to say that, like, this is you know, it's a real problem, man, in our community. It really is. And I think that what we can do as men is we can take the minority position because men are supposed to take the minority position. And that is to say, no, I'm cool. Be celibate, be the self, pray, work on ourselves, like you said, become the best version of ourselves, leave these women alone, um, and just become great and become better and get one with God, you know, because when we lay with them, we giving them our strength too, you know.
Yeah, and I know that's gonna that's definitely be like a come times when yeah we should definitely because this discipline thing like I just today like I came across somebody said a good point. How did they say it? They was like discipline ain't like out of sight out of mind. Discipline is like opening up a bag of chips and only eating one serving, only eating like five chips
Ha,
and then
right,
so
right.
so so I say that to say like I'm not telling when I say tell young men go be the best version of yourself. I'm not saying that to say don't date, don't talk to women, don't do that type of shit. I'm saying stay on your mission and what you feel like you supposed to be going for and stay
Right.
don't get sidetracked. You know what I mean? Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't
One
pedalize.
basket.
You know what I mean? Um,
I'm
what
saying
I was
that.
gonna say? Oh, I said, did I say this to you, bro? Majority of men are in the USA is still are the majority of men is still husband material. Majority of women are not wifely material. What you say to that?
Say that again.
I say it's a statement. The majority of men out here are still husband material. The majority of women are not wifely material.
I don't know.
What'd you say to that?
I don't know because I don't know. Well, I would agree and kind of disagree. I would agree with that because men are the ones who build. We making the laws. We're the protectors. We're the providers. Men are extremely valuable. We are so valuable to the world that we can be overlooked because of how much value we give to the world. The reason why me and you are on the phone right now is because there are men out there in the ocean laying down ether cords in the ocean so we can have the internet. That's how we have the internet and able to call is because these ether cords are all throughout the ocean. A lot of people don't know that, but these are men doing that. The reason why we can go to the grocery store and get food is because men are slaughtering these animals. But you know, we just take we society take men for granted so much.
Me and
It's
you see that
ridiculous.
it's you heard the word massage. They say heard the word massage.
Misandry, the hatred of man.
Yeah,
A lot
everybody
of
know the
black
other one.
women,
What's the other one? What's
a
the
lot of
opposite?
women suffer from
What's
misandry
what's
for
what's
sure.
what's the other one?
Uh,
Misogyny.
the
What's the other one? The opposite.
the opposite of misandry is misogynism.
Yeah. So
Women
it's
know the
definitely
name
misandry
misogynism,
going
but they
on.
ain't never heard the word misandry.
Right. Most people ain't familiar, but now they trying to get familiar because people trying to bring it to light and stuff. But yeah, misandry.
I think every woman should read this radical feminist book. Uh man, I may have to get up and go and see my source real quick because I have it. This woman was a known feminist, and she was so radical, and she believed that men had it so much easier that she dressed and posed as a man, a white man. Of course, she was a white woman,
I think I came
and
across this.
she couldn't take it. Right? In fact, after it, she was on. She did a. She wrote a book. She had an interview with CBS. She was talking about how she loves the fact that she's a woman, and that she and that it's so hard to be a man. She doesn't even understand how we can take it. And she was talking about how mean women are to men, and just how men don't have a safe space mentally or emotionally, and how men are undervalued. This is a white woman. Just imagine how harder it is for men of color. She she was so distraught from her social experiment, she ended up killing herself.
Right. Yeah, I heard that.
This is true.
Yeah.
And you know, being a man is not easy at all, especially being a black man. And you know, we can't. I'm not upset with women or black women, for the way that they treat us and think about us, because I know that they just ignorant. I know that they just have been socially warped and have been psychologically controlled by a narrative that has been programmed into them through generations. And it's a psyop.
It's
This
a
is
lot of
what
it's several things that then came along, and you pinpointing them and stuff like that. I want you to finish your statement. Go ahead. My bad.
it's a psyop. Because the feminist movement was part of it. The LGBTQ movement was part of it in the
Mhm.
1960s. The destruction of the black family was a pivotal thing. The government wanted to destroy it,
Biases, prejudices,
has successfully
racism.
destroyed it. And like Shahazad Ali from Cincinnati, Ohio said in her book Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman, is that the black woman has a demon inside of her that the enemy has placed in her, that she believes that we are her enemy, and she believes that we are putting her down, and so on and so forth. That's why she call us boy. She don't even respect us. She don't call that white man at her job boy. She respects him. So I tell black women in the New York Minute, I hear them say boy, I say, you watch your mouth, don't you ever call me that again. My name is Trey Sean. Or you call me daddy or something. Don't call me boy. Because I tell them all the time, I say, you talk to me the same way you talk to that white man at your job. That's your supervisor, your manager, or your boss. You give me the same type of respect.
So
You know
so
what I
so
mean?
let me put this in there. Okay. The thing is, like a lot, like right now, what we see, like we can pinpoint and we can say it, right? Like we
Mm-hmm.
can say what I'm trying to say is the cause. We always we on the effects, like all the effects. We talking about how
Yeah, I named some of the cars.
the effects of everything,
Mm-hmm.
but the cause is really like where shit started, where all this shit originated from, all this
All of that
BS.
originated from first the deindustrialization of our communities in the late 1960s, right? When they took away the means of you to produce tangibles as a man. When they deindustrialized our communities, meaning they took all of the trades out of the public schools. All of our grandfathers or great grandfathers talk to us and tell us they remember when they was in high school they could get a trade. They remember in Cincinnati, Cincinnati State used to be a trade school for black people. All of these public schools all across the country had trade programs, woodworking, all of this different stuff that you could do. They deindustrialized our communities, meaning they shut down, Chrysler factory in Detroit, and then all those fires started to happen out of nowhere, right? They shut down the Goodyear factory out there in Cleveland, right?
Now those
And
things took place. Now
those
what
things,
is the now
let
what
me
is
finish. This is broad. It's not just this is a
right?
series of unfortunate
But
events that the
but
government put in place to
Right.
create the certain condition that we are currently living in today. So let me finish.
Right. But
So
what I'm
then
saying is
after,
I want to take it even further than
mhm,
that. Like I see I know like not I know, but these events they're crucial. But I want to take it even further than that. I want to challenge to take it even further than that. Like, okay, those things happen. Why did those things happen?
you
If
gotta
you
let
get
me
what I'm
finish. I
saying.
was trying to tell you what happened.
Why those things happen?
Yeah. Those things happen to create the exact situation that we are living in now. That's why it happened. To have her rebel against us. So once they deindustrialized our communities,
You froze, bro. All right, we about to react to some more of this.
Never.
Minister Michelle.
Mr. Michelle. Never.
Now you
We,
mean never as far as sexual relations or for getting married?
us as women never run out of chances. And when I say women, I'm talking about real women. I'm talking about women that know from the beginning of time that God made men first, right? So a real woman, that means a woman that's been good, that's been faithful, that not only carry herself as a woman, but know her place. And then a man that come at her differently, to come at her like the question you're asking. No, because if we could, not only as a real woman to represent herself.
Okay, we gotta break that down right there. Now she said real woman. Real woman to who? Because if we talking
hello.
about a real woman, yes, sir. Yeah, let me make this point real quick. While you was froze, I had played. I'm about to react. I had played like 30 seconds of this
Hold up. Let
video.
me let me leave and
Let me
come
say my
back because I
response.
can't see myself or nothing on there.
Okay, a real a real woman. Y'all, it okay. A real woman is a wife, right? A real woman is a woman that has uh high sexual market value. Is what do the men want and like and consider a real woman? Whatever that is, that's a real woman. If a real woman was so real, she would be married. I mean, when she's saying a real woman, we got to put context to that. We got to put context. That context has got to be femininity, peace, support, cooperation, um, things of this sort. And usually those type of women do not get wifed up pretty quickly.
Not
Yes,
at
sir. Can you hear
all.
me?
Yeah.
Okay, you can go ahead.
So boom, they deindustrialize our communities. Now men don't have a means to make money. What did they push out right after that? Superfly. Now the means to make money, since you can't get a trade because we shut down these factories, you ain't got a way to get a trade in these public schools. Now we gonna put smack into the community. That's what they call heroin back in the day when Ray Charles was doing it and all of that. Superfly was coming out, pushing man, so on and so forth. Woo woo wah.
So we got to take it
Simultaneously,
broader though, Trey.
yeah, simultaneously they got the feminist, my fault, not the feminist movement. It was called the Women Liberation Movement. The Women Liberation Movement was to free women of the oppression of men. And
Hmm.
so they got white women, got to black women, and was telling them about all of this and all of that, how they oppressed and so on and so forth. And they also incorporated the sexual immorality with the Sex in the City magazines,
Let me
where
pose a question to you. Let me pose a question to you.
Mhm.
Do you think that this was to target a certain, let me finish the whole question. Do you think this was a target of a certain culture, or do you think this was because it also, two things can be true at one time. I mean, that could be true, but it also, hit everybody, every culture. I mean, this, feminist movement. So, and some of the things that you saying affected, a lot of people. But do you think this is a bigger thing, like trying to bring down the frequency of just the masses, or do you think this was just specifically intended to destroy one specific culture?
Targeting us simultaneously targets everybody. Who's the most imitated
Mm.
culture on the planet? Burna Boy, all of these African hip artists now, they're not doing nothing but emulating the culture of hip hop that we created and produced. Same thing with these Asian pop cultures, uh, K-pop as they call it. That's nothing but hip hop over there in Korea and Japan. So we the chosen people of God, period, point blank. And that's why everybody emulates us, hates us, but wants to be just like us. And so back to what I was saying. So with the feminist, before it was the feminist movement, is the women liberation movement, and giving women the option to be sexually immoral with the magazine Sex in the City, making it seem like casual sex and wearing less clothing wasn't that serious. This is where a lot of this started to come from. Sex in the City wasn't a show, it was an actual magazine. And so they got black women and say, because at the time black women couldn't shop at Sears and Macy's and all of this stuff. But if they joined the feminist movement and did other things, then they could start going to these places to shop and do all these other things. Right? My great great aunt, 80 something years old when she died,
Now keep going, bro.
my great great aunt told me how white men would come knock on her mother's door and have coupons and say, hey, if you move him out, I can give you this coupon and you can live over here in these houses that I have and I own over here rent free. And we'll also give you food and this and that. So all of this was a ploy and different tactics to move us out of the household so they can be governed and controlled by Uncle Sam. And they also want to destroy the nuclear family, which at the same time didn't just affect us, but affected other people. But who has it affected the most? We are at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to economics all across the board in America. When it comes to home ownership, when it comes to money per capita, when it comes to marriage, most entrepreneurs and successful people, successful men are married. Most homeowners are married couples. The quickest way for a woman um, net worth to go up is to marry a man who has a solid foundation. And so they destroyed that. And now 5 generations later, we've got strong, independent black women who have produced faggots, trannies, jailbirds, murderers, dope boys, uh, women beaters, etc. So she's the worst parent on the planet statistically. But you can't tell her anything because she suffers from cognitive dissonance. And so this is just what we dealing with. Honestly, this is what we dealing with, man. And the only way we can get from under this rock that we're in is through love. Because the lack of love for one another is why we treat each other the way we treat each other. Love is the true revolution for us. Once we learn to love ourselves, we'll learn to love one another.
And you know what I've been seeing? This delineation has helped that.
What you mean
I'm
by that?
seeing
What does
more love.
delineation mean?
So our lineage, our community is Black American, indigenous Black American, foundational Black American. That's us. That being that delineation, saying that everybody that is melanated of color is not foundational Black American. That's making strides. That's doing a lot. And I can give some examples, but what say you? You don't want to speak on that?
What? Speak on what?
Oh, I said the you spoke about love. So I mentioned I'm seeing a lot more love from the effects of the delineation of people just getting on code, saying that, hey, well, I, we foundational Black Americans, and there's foundational Black Americans and there's immigrants.
Right. I mean, I don't really like the
Everybody not the same.
phraseology because the phraseology foundational Black Americans come from Tariq Nasheed. Tariq Nasheed is in the Boule, so Tariq Nasheed really is no good from us if you know the history of the Boule and what the Boule has said and why they created the Boule, etc. Um, it's really just another form to separate us. Foundational Black or whatever, even using that term black is really a problem when it comes to us as well. And that's why Jesus said, "My people are in peril for they lack knowledge of self," because me and you ain't black. This T-shirt, this collar shirt I got on is though. Me and you aren't, because black is a spectrum.
Okay, now you
So
just said a lot.
it's
Let me respond. Okay, so you mentioned Tyreek Nasheed. Now
that's
I've
who coined the
looked
phrase.
I've looked in. I mean, I've been following him or listening to him for a minute now. And the thing is, I've been a truth seeker and seeking out the truth for a while. And I come across Tariq Nasheed and nothing points to me to where he is against black foundational Black Americans. Or and then to touch on what else you said the word black. Foundational Black Americans popularized the word black just like we popularized the word nigga, and now everybody and their mama and everybody in the world want to say nigga and want to be a nigga till it's time to be a nigga. And so when we say black, everybody thinks of a foundational Black American, no matter where. That's we kind of when you kind of think of black people, you think of the American blacks. And so that's why I think that's why that black is in there, because first of all, it paints at this point, it paints a picture. You know who the heck we talking about. And then second of all, we popularized that, and everybody want to be black, but everybody ain't black. But if you do some crime, you black. But if you make an achievement, if you got an achievement, oh, suddenly now I'm actually Caribbean, for example. I'm actually Nigerian, for example. I'm actually Ethiopian, for example. But when you ain't won nothing, you just black.
Um, so I was watching a documentary by Dan Calloway, and Dan Calloway, I love him because he always cross references everything. So he was showing an oil company from Britain that had indigenous people of color as the mascot. And this billboard, my fault, not this billboard, but this metal box from the early 1920s said black as a nigga. And it was spelled Nigga. Now, at this time in America, we weren't referring to ourselves as nigga or as black. My grandmother and my great aunt told me that to be called black was fighting words because at that time they were referred to as Negroes. And my great aunt, she would tell me, and also knew that we are descendants of Pocahontas. We are the Indians of this land, not the Native Americans, but the Indians of this land. And that the term black is nothing that has anything to do with us or something that we should ever identify with, because this is something that our oppressors and colonizers gave us and labeled us to detach us from the land and to make sure that we don't have any rights, but are considered as chattel, as citizens, as capital, because America is a corporation. And so, black, white, Pacific Islander, all of those are social constructs. But the difference between us and everybody else here is that everybody else can describe their domicile of origin. I'm Czechoslovakian, I'm Ethiopian, I'm Italian, I'm Russian. Most of us just say I'm descendants of slaves. Well, we weren't even slaves. We were prisoners of war because
That's
we
what I
never
like.
just sat. We never just sat there and just decided we gonna pick cotton and listen to what they say. There was
They
it.
gonna say they generically gonna say, oh, we African Americans. And so,
No, I mean, but again, that has nothing to do with us because historically, if you do your research, most of us at that time had a real big problem with Jesse Jackson and that board of people who decided in 1980, 88 or 87 to label us in Aurelian fashion as African American, because
right.
African American doesn't describe who you are. You're
So
just
if
saying that.
FBA ain't it, so if FBA ain't it, and African American ain't it, what would
And
you
black definitely ain't it.
and black? So what would you call us?
So like I said, we are Indians of this land. Indian is also still considered a misnomer, but Indians have human rights. Indians can attach themselves to this land, right? Black is just black. That's why most black folk, especially black folk who suffer from cognitive dissonance, who get into Pan-Africanism, they got to go search in a book to find a goddamn name. Some
All right.
Afrocentristic book. Let me finish to find out a name. Versus you looking within yourself and doing your ethnographic research. Well, what is ethnographic research, Shayshawn Shagag? Well, ethnographic research is you getting your birth certificate. You getting your mom's birth certificate. You getting your father's birth certificate. And you keep going backwards that way. Getting land pats, getting the family Bibles and stuff like that, because that's how they used to record our births, right? This is very deep information. So we ain't foundational blacks because we ain't black. Because black doesn't describe who we are. That don't attach to a nation or nothing. White does. They can say, yeah, I'm white, but I know that I'm Czechoslovakian. Yeah, I'm white, but I know that I'm Russian. And my people came off of this boat as immigrants, and we did this here in America. So they are up to code. We are not. We don't know who we are. We don't know that we was already here before them. They the ones came here on boats and was working for us, but they came here and waged war, violated 400 different treaties, right? Through paper genocide, usurped the land from us, used people like Stokely Carmichael and used people like Jesse Jackson, Reverend Al Sharpton, used people like James Brown to
So let me jump in
spread the
here.
acceptance of the word black.
So let me jump in here, man. Shoot. With all that being said, for the context of now and the day and age we in right now, where we at right now,
Mm-hmm.
For us to get on code, to
Mm-hmm.
know, to be able to delineate, we can't. We I don't see like. I don't see how we could use. I don't see how you, because you said we are Indians. I don't see how, and I'm not
Because
disagreeing
you ain't
with you.
never seen a slave ship in the history museum.
But this
You
what I'm
don't know
saying
a
to you.
name of a captain who sailed a sailboat either, because it didn't happen.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you. Listen to me. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm saying for the context of now, for the purpose of delineation now in 2026, for people to understand who our culture is now, we can't use Indian. I mean, that's not going. I mean,
Who
FBA,
said that?
Foundational Black American.
Who said that?
Well, because
Because I
let's
know
think
plenty
about
of white folk who agree and say and told me you right. Who told me, my mom used to tell us the story of Pocahontas and how we came over here and took this land from y'all. Y'all are the Indians, but y'all don't know. And guess what?
Correct.
The
But
Russians
let
call us
me
the
let
sleeping
me
giant
tell you
because they
why
know
you
we
asked
the
me a
Indians
question.
too.
You asked me a question. You asked me a question. You said why not? I'm gonna answer your question. This is the answer. We say Indian. We say the black, the black people. Everybody know us as black. Say I say all the say if I
Not
snap the finger on
everybody.
all the black people. Say if I let me bring it out. Say if I snap my finger and and tomorrow all the black people start saying we Indian.
Mhm.
You got what they gonna mix up is you got Indians from India. You got the native. Then you got people that's gonna think of Native Americans. Then you gonna think of some people gonna think of the $2 Indians. Then some people gonna think of us. That's gonna be the minority of people. They gonna think that we the Indians. Say if they was to give us reparations and compensation tomorrow, and we say they say, oh, we only gonna give it to the Indians. Think about how much of a hassle that's gonna be versus if they said, oh, we gonna give all foundational black Americans reparations tomorrow. It'd be real quick. We already delineated, we already ready for that. We can already do we can already disperse the cash for that. I'm gonna go ahead, take it. I'm gonna land.
What you're saying is a complete fallacy. I say that because, contrary to your belief, there are many white folk in America who know exactly what I'm talking about. I've talked to them. There are many Indians. Well, the proper term is Javidians. Those little Hindu people. Yeah, they're not Indian, right? They're Javidian. But I've talked to them too at the corner store, and they said, "You all are the Indians." I've had Arabs tell me, "We think it's funny that you call yourselves black, because y'all place yourself under the trap all the time. We think it's funny." They laugh at. Everybody laughs at us. They not here. See, that's part of our. We think that these people are friends. They ain't. Everybody is conspiring against us. I told you we the children of God. Everybody know who we is. Russia calls the melanated peoples of the Americas the sleeping giants, because they say when we wake up and realize who we are, the whole world will wake back up. I know Africans
That's
who
deep.
know that we were already here and we ain't black, that we ain't nothing like them, that we came and taught them civilization, right? So again, it's not hard. The hours that we spend trying to mac a bitch, the hours we spend jacking off time watching Netflix, the hours we spend streaming on Twitch, the hours we spend watching sports, the hours we spend going to the clubs, we can spend that time doing our ethnographic research, because there are hundreds of different tribes of the Indians, or the you could just say, we don't even have to use the term Indian. We could just say indigenous peoples of the Americas, because we are indigenous to this land and they know that. So again, saying foundational black's not going to get you nowhere, because they're not going to give you no money based off of a label that they created to give you, no matter what some other melanated person created and said we're going to put foundational in front of the word black and put American at the end of it. It doesn't change it. Black is just black. It doesn't mean nothing. But under their laws and ordinances that we're up under, because we were conquered and we don't know who we are, black in law means, it's a misnomer. It means civil mortis. Civil mortis in Black's Law Dictionary is what black mean, and civil mortis in law means civilly dead. It means you have no rights. You only have privileges that are granted to you. Now, whether you putting foundational in there or not, because that ain't never seen that on no resume when I or application when I fill it out, it doesn't matter. What
Right,
matters
but
is
foundational Black
let me
American
finish. What
has been
matters is the
listed
truth.
in
The
federal
truth
stuff.
of the matter is that
It's
me
getting
and
out.
you and everybody else of color in America are indigenous to this land. We were
Right.
already here.
And I'm not disputing that. I'm not
So
disputing that. What I'm saying is when we go travel and we go to the UK or we go to China and they say, where are you from? Who you? And you tell them I'm Indian.
I would say I'm an American.
Okay, no, that's what I'm saying. And then you
I would
say,
say I'm an American, or I would say I'm Indian, or I would say
well,
what I know I am. I'm Iroquois,
okay,
right?
but
Because I've done a
they
little
not
bit of my
gonna,
research.
but that's gonna confuse them, and we
It,
can't sit
it,
here
it
and
doesn't
say,
matter. I don't. Who cares what they fucking think? What matters is the truth.
no,
You
no,
can
no, no,
listen
no.
when you
This is
go
what I'm
to the
saying. I'm not
Supreme
saying that
Court.
to say that they
If
care
you
what
if
they think. Hold on,
this what
man.
I'm
Hold
saying,
on.
this is why
I'm
I'm
not
saying
saying
what
that
you're
to say.
saying
Let me
is
finish
will
what I'm
never
saying real
work,
quick. Let me
because
finish
if
what
we
I'm
go
saying
to
real
the
quick.
Supreme
Let me
Court
finish what I'm saying real
and
quick. Let me
say
finish what I'm saying real quick. Let me finish what I'm saying real quick. I'm not saying that to say I'm not on no third grade shit, bro. I'm not saying that to
I
say
didn't
that
say you
they.
are. You're a very
No,
intelligent
I'm just
man.
saying. I'm not saying that I'm a little bit more, but you like you just thought that I was
Because
saying
I
that to
know,
say that
because I know what you're
that
talking
they
about
that hold on
is
hold on hold on
sophistry.
hold on. I don't think you know where I'm going. You don't know where I'm going with it. What I
All right.
because what you because just where you took it is not where I'm going. I'm saying that to say, not because I care what they think, bro. I'm saying that to say for the context of getting shit done, for people to understand my lineage and who I am. Because you could say you're American, you could go and travel somewhere else outside of America and say, I'm American. And the Nigerian is gonna say he American if he was born here, but he's actually Nigerian and his parents from Nigeria, but he's first generation American. He gonna say he American, and the other melanated person is gonna say they Black American just because they was here 2 generations. And that's what I'm saying. It's gonna be confusing. It's gonna be confusing to people. And right now, if we got a brother that's saying foundational Black American, okay, it's a foundational Black American saying it's a coining foundational Black Americans. Before that, all I've researched is that it was another race of people, ethnicity of people that's coining us. So I mean, I for the context of like right now, 2026 today, and to get shit done. Like I said, if tomorrow they started decided to give reparations to uh foundational Black Americans, the people they owe the shit to, how could you know what I'm saying we would have to get that done. We would have to delineate, and I'm saying that's already out there. Foundational Black American is already catching wind and is going, and it's not a bad thing at all. It's good for us to delineate whether we're gonna say it's indigenous Black American, foundational Black American, native Black American. We gotta go with it.
You can go with it. I don't know nothing about that. You can go with it. You keep talking about this black stuff, and I keep reiterating, but I don't know. I don't know.
But
But I'm
you
gonna
hung
say
up
it
on the
again.
word.
We should never, ever, ever label ourselves as black, because that's not who we are. That doesn't describe anything. And when we do accept that label black, it means that we are civilly dead here in America, and we can only get the privileges that they decide to give us because we are accepting this misnomer. A misnomer is something in law that is purposely. This is the definition of a misnomer. Google it if I'm lying. Ask that bitch Siri. She know a misnomer is something that is purposely mislabeled to cause confusion. And so what needs to happen is that we need to take the time out of our days, not just to send our little children to school and learn from a bunch of strangers who we are, but we need to do our own research and our own history, because the history is available, right? It's there. And find out the truth. We ain't indigenous black nothing. We are just indigenous. Our ancestors never called each other black. The white man came over here. The European came over here and called us that, just like he called us nigger. The term nigger comes from them. the
Okay, let me
troglodyte
ask
nigga,
this
the one
question,
that
and this
charted
gonna
and
help.
walked on all fours. I
Let
know
me ask you
what I'm
this question
saying
then.
is that what I'm saying is that even if we all said, okay, we're all foundational Black Americans, and they all decided us to give us some money or whatever, it would not equate to the same extent if we did our ethnographic research and said, oh my God, I'm Iroquois. And the CBG airport was taken from my great 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 ancestors during the Dole's Commission, that where the term $5 Indian, because you said $2 Indian, the term $5 Indian comes from white
$5. Okay.
immigrant peasantry trash stealing our identity for $5 at a time and getting land granted to them. But we will never fuck the money, because the money is frivolous. The money is in the land. You get land rights with the land. You get mineral rights with the land. You may own a home, but you don't own the land that that house sits on, which is why we forever pay a mortgage till we die. Now, if you got the alloidal title, then you actually own that shit. But a lot of people don't know what I know.
Now you
So
cooking.
I'm saying all this to say again, this goes in law, this called the fruit of the poisonous tree doctrine. And the fruit of the poisonous tree doctrine states that if there is a lie in any part of this case, it's all poisonous and needs to be thrown out. So you're talking about Tariq Nasheed, who was in a boule. If you do your research on the creators of the Black Boule and what they produced in 1913 or 1927, one of those 2 years where they created the book, they wrote their book and let people know why they created this, you would be like, oh, no, nah, I don't want nothing to do with that. They wanted to emulate the skull and crossbones or fraternity and organization, and we all know they worship Lucifer. They got to lay in a coffin and fast and do this and drink. Yeah, that's what they do in Skull and Crossbones in Yale. And the people who create the Black people who created the Black Boule said that they wanted a secret society that emulated them, a circle within a circle within a circle, and each fraternity at these HBCUs, right, is a representation of each royal family of these 13 bloodlines that these Black people have to protect depending on the career path that they taken. So again, the root of it is poisonous. I don't want nothing to do with that because I have knowledge of self. And I don't,
So
if
have
you can
you heard
accept what
Tariq
I'm, you
Nasheed?
don't accept nothing that I'm telling you. You do your own research.
Right,
I'm just
right.
here to
Now
make
I
you
know
think.
you ain't talking. I know you ain't talking no trash. But listen, have you heard Tariq Nasheed?
I have. I love his
No, no, no.
documentaries, Hidden
Hold on. I ain't
Colors.
finished the question,
I
brother.
listen to
I ain't
Tariq
finished the
Nasheed on
question, brother.
TikTok
I
from
ain't finished
time
the
to
question.
time.
I ain't finished the question. Hold on. Have you heard Tariq Nasheed in the past?
Yes, I just was
Months?
listening to him a couple of days ago on TikTok.
Okay, okay. Is he saying what is he saying? Is he saying anything wrong?
Yes,
What he saying wrong?
foundational Black Americans, because me and you ain't Black. We are
Oh, hold
indigenous.
on. Okay, so that's
His
what I needed to get to, bro.
I
What
keep
you
explaining it. You're
saying?
not understanding, bruh.
Yes, yes,
I'm
I'm
tired of
understanding.
re-explaining it.
That's the
We ain't Black. We
misunderstanding.
shouldn't be saying that at
That's
all. We are
that's the
indigenous.
misunderstanding that you think I'm not understanding. I'm understanding.
Okay, well,
Understanding,
you
I'm
keep
understanding.
saying it.
Look, hold on, man. Understand that
Okay.
I understand you. Just get that right now. I understand you and I agree with you. Now that we got that said, for today, if
Mm-hmm.
okay, here we go. If I this the question. Everything you said, saying everything you said is true.
It is.
Facts.
It's a fact.
Okay.
No, it's the truth. A fact is a
Okay.
common opinion that
Okay.
society agrees upon. That's not
Okay.
the truth. What I said was the truth.
Okay. Say it. Say it's the truth. Now, see, this is what I want to say. The Census Bureau didn't change. It's and you didn't mention all this stuff that we got conspired against us. So it's real fucked up out here. So the Census Bureau then changed our shit about 5 times. They changed it from Indian to I don't know the order, but Indian. I know I could name them though. Indian, colored, Negroid,
Skipping
African
a
American,
you
Black.
skipping a whole lot, but yeah.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying. Let me frame the question. So me and you both know all this shit. So Indian was like that been changed since since the 17, 18 something. That been switched up in the Census Bureau and stuff like that. So now, are we gonna get hung up on? Yes, I understand that word black is bullshit and it's and everything that you said, but these whoever coined us that before, we've popularized it. Now the whole world wants to be black, emulates black, just like we know, just like you said, and they know us from this word, and it could be any word, but just in this case, okay, let's say black. It could be any derogatory word, but okay, black. So now, but everybody knows us. Everybody, when we travel somewhere else, we can say we Black American, and they'll understand where we from, or indigenous or black, foundational Black American, and they'll understand our lineage. Are we gonna get hung up on this word, or if tomorrow they say we gonna start giving reparations to foundational Black Americans? I mean, I don't see how being hung up. I understanding your education, understanding the etymology of the word. I understand, of course, how that can help and twist and change your mindset and stuff like that. But what I'm saying is, on paper, I don't think we can get hung up on that if we're making strides, if delineation is happening, if we getting on code as a culture finally, if we understanding who is part of the family and who is not part of the family, so to say. You get what I'm saying? You get my question?
What are you asking me? You made a big statement.
So I'm saying foundational Black American. If it's working, let's run with it. You saying let's not run with it, even though it's working, just because it got this word black in it? Is that what you saying?
I've never heard of foundational Black Americans working, but what I do know is people who have listened to Dan Calloway's instruction on how to find the ethnographic research. I've literally seen an example of what I said with the CVG airport. Indian or indigenous people literally get a whole land where an airport was at back to them because they did their ethnographic research, and through land deeds and these land patents and getting all of their birth certificates and finding their old family Bible and going through the census and all of that, they were able to find this.
I'm
And
gonna
they
tell
were
you that
in the
FBA should
Supreme.
help.
Let me finish.
That
In the
FBA should help
Supreme,
people to find it. I can tell you how.
and the Supreme Court had to give them back that land. The only reason why they were able, and the only reason why the Supreme Court had to honor that, is because they actually started to identify themselves as human beings. You will never be considered equal or human if you are saying anything with black or Negro in it. Period. It's not going to happen. I don't know nobody who's
From
been
a
a
law,
foundational Black American who
legitimate point
got
of view.
anything by saying that.
From
But I know
a
people
from a law point of view, from a legitimate point of view, correct?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
I said from a law point of view, from a legitimate. If you walking into a court, you probably can't say foundational. You're gonna have to say what it was. You was an Indian or whatever to claim what was yours. Right? That's what we saying. Like we can't walk into a
That's the
court and
whole
say,
point, to get what's ours. Things been taken from us. The reason why what does the stats say, that a regular white household net worth is 150,000 and our black family house net worth is 15,000, is because of generational monopoly with land and money and deeds and things like that. That's what matters. Progress, not quasi names. The
right.
truth of the matter. We want results. We want tangibles.
And you know how that
Money
FBA
is not a
delineation is helping that?
tangible.
Okay, this
Land
how I'm
is
gonna
a
tell you how the
tangible. Mineral
I'm gonna
rights
tell
to
you
the
how to.
land is tangible.
I'm gonna tell you how the FBA delineation is helping that.
All
What
right.
everybody say right now is, oh, the majority of people still say, if you point and say, what is we? They say African American. The majority of people. So with people getting a hold of this foundational Black American, it's making the masses say, "Oh no, we built America. We was here. My ancestors been here. We generations back. My great grandmother, grandfather was here, and we built this bad boy. Not we're not no generic Africans. We not African
We ain't
American."
African at all.
Right. So I mean, so you can see how the foundational. I know you just don't like that name, but I'm saying the foundational Black American delineation is helping with us seeing what was
I
taken from
think
us here.
I don't think that at all. I think it's okay. Part of that is true, but the what would be for it to actually be a movement that actually affects us would be to call yourself indigenous to this land, because that's basically what a foundational Black American is or is saying.
So
But
you would
at the
just say
same,
indigenous
dang
American.
man, I swear I was talking.
I know, but brother, you gotta
Okay,
know. You own the show, and I gotta moderate, and I want to ask you questions. This is for the audience as well. So I'm not trying to cut you off, but
okay.
what I'm trying to get to is you said so you would name it. I'm trying to get to the end all be all. You would name it indigenous American. You would name us. You would call us, coin us, just indigenous
I wouldn't
American.
even say American because the word American is not what we call this land. That's another thing. I would just say, and I would say, or I would say indigenous to the Americas, or to Turtle Island. But a lot of people not aware of this information. But guess what? The ones who are in control of the land and our identity and our resources, they know. And they all of this stuff is waiting for us. Literally, that's why they killed Malcolm. When Malcolm starts speaking on how we were already here when he left the Nation of Islam and got out of that pseudo way of thinking and start discovering the truth, and then he wanted to go to the United Nations, they like, oh shit, hell nah. They boxed him ASAP. Well, Martin Luther King Jr. turned his back on the boule and started saying the truth, how we were already here and how they started land grant colleges to mechanize on our farms, right? And how they created government subsidies so they could teach them how to farm on our farms because we owned it. They came over here working for us, right? But through contracts, these contracts that they have, because contract law is real, we didn't know that us signing this while they said they will work here on this land for 18 months. After 18 months, they would have this land. And then this big Indian Removal Act started and so on and so forth. So history is very important. Not no phraseology that some boule member who worships Satan is poisonous. And I keep telling you this, but I don't think you really comprehending it, right? It's not
It,
going to go
I
anywhere.
see it
It's not.
doing
It's not
good
causing
though.
a shift. I'm not seeing anybody getting any land or anything that's tangible. We talking about I've seen this with Dane Calloway with people showing their land deeds and then getting this land over here, getting this land over there because they did their ethnographic research. Because they not saying that they African American, Black, or foundational American anymore. They saying I'm Iroquois or I'm Chickasaw, right? I'm Indian or I'm indigenous, right? You are indigenous to this land. You indigenous. You was here already.
And that's
So
what foundational is saying.
that's what I'm
That's what
saying. That
foundational is saying.
foundational don't mean nothing. It don't mean nothing. There's something that some nigga with a degree that's from the boule putting on a bunch of other people who are in search of knowledge and have a thirst for knowledge because we're in the age of awakening, and they are galvanizing your minds in Aurelian fashion towards their common goal, whatever this goal is. I
So
don't
you don't
know.
see question. So you don't see foundational Black American
No, I
doing
don't. And I
any
keep telling you I don't
positive.
because it got black
Let
in
me
it.
tell you, well, let me tell you one thing that I say is doing positive, and then you tell me if that's not true.
Okay.
Foundational Black American is delineating whether we like it or not. It's delineating the culture. So it's saying you got them people in office that keep vetoing the bill for reparations, for example. And come to find out, they Caribbean. They look just like me and you, but they not us. He's Caribbean. That's why he's saying, "Oh, we don't need no reparations."
Right.
Because he wouldn't qualify for them no god daggone way. So what I'm
Right.
saying is us delineating whether we call ourselves.
All I'm saying is delineate with the truth, not a phraseology somebody
But
else said. We
but
can
what
do
I'm
the
saying
exact
is
same thing with the truth that I'm
that's what I'm
saying,
saying.
which is the truth. That's who you are. You're
We
not a
hung up on.
foundational Black American.
But what
You're
I'm saying is,
indigenous.
yes, but that's saying the same thing,
No, it's not.
and
Because
it's
they don't
helping
mean
the
the
same
same. They're
way.
not the same words. They don't mean the same. They're not equal. They're not. Because you can't go into the Supreme Court and get no land claiming to be foundational Black. But you can if you say you indigenous and these is my papers and this is what you stole from my great 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 grandmother 8 generations ago, and they'll give it to you by law. This is even in the United Nations, bruh. That's why I'm saying that it's a fallacy, bruh. It's sophistry. Sophistry means plausible but false argumentation, bruh. We ain't doing nothing but having a verbal quarrel about the truth. What I'm saying is self-evident, bruh. Me and you are indigenous. We ain't got nothing to
I'm
do
not
with
arguing
Black.
that.
We ain't got nothing to do with Black. Some imposters,
Right.
some foreigners came over here and created the word. So just using that phraseology poisons everything that is surrounded by. That's all that I'm saying. I'm saying we shouldn't go by that at all.
And what
I'm
I'm
saying
saying
that
is,
I know people who are going by the truth, going through their ethnographic research, doing their shit. Where is that? Where my book at? Like I'm doing right now. My friend Edward Slaughter doing right now, getting their papers and about to go to the Supreme. My boy Edward Slaughter about to do this and get his land. Dude, they ain't gonna give you that if you talking about you got anything to do with Black. Because now you are classifying yourself as a chattel slave, as civilly dead, because you got the word Black in there, period. Everything else is poisonous, bruh. So that's the whole point. That's what I'm saying. He's tricking you. You don't get it.
no, I get what you're
That's what
saying.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Do you
I
know who
get what
Dan
you're saying.
Calloway is? I know who Tariq Nasheed is. Do you know who Dan Calloway is? Have you
I had
looked
to.
into him?
I maybe have to see a
Yeah,
picture.
yeah. I told you this a year ago at the YMCA, bruh. You should have been. You should. I
I
thought that you
probably
would
did. I
have
got to see a
already
picture,
looked
bro. I
into
ain't
it.
good with names, man. I don't look at.
I
I ain't
text
good
you
with
the
names.
name and everything. I thought that you wrote the name down. Because we had a real
I
long talk
probably
in front
looked
of
into him. You talking about? Is that the
the
guy?
coffee
Is
tables, bro.
you said? Is that the guy that has something to do with Kevin Samuels?
No,
Oh,
no,
okay,
hell
okay.
no. That's Jason Black, the business. That's who Kevin Samuels got all of his information from.
Oh, right. Okay.
Dane Calloway, again, he's an ethnographic researcher. He is so phenomenal and so pivotal in this era that colleges are asking him to come and teach. College professors are taking his information and teaching it in schools. White people are acknowledging him and saying, you are disseminating the truth. So-called Black people are denouncing the term Black, doing their ethnographic research, finding out that they Iroquois, finding out that they Chickasaw, finding out the truth, and are going with these land pats and these land deeds and these old family Bibles and getting land.
I gotta say this though. Then, if we doing our research and then finding out what you were naming are tribes, correct?
Different tribes, yeah.
Different tribes.
Indian tribes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Or different tribes of indigenous peoples.
Okay. So my question is this: you know how over in Africa there is a bunch of people that look alike, but they all in different tribes, and some of them talk different languages. But they so tribal over there, they can't get together. Over here, me and you can go to Tennessee, LA, Chicago, New York. We can go to the black clubs. We can go to the black barbecues. We gonna be good. We gonna be good. And
Mhm.
if we ain't on no gang shit and blah blah blah, we just, you
Right.
know what I'm saying, we could go party and da 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 da. Usually, you know, something happen, we might be able to stay on code with one another and stuff. We not as tribal as that. As far as going into the court and getting what's owed to us, I get it. But do you think being tribal is something that's gonna benefit us, or being all together on code on code,
Listen,
it will also help?
knowing the truth is being up to code because everybody know who you are and I am except for us. So it doesn't matter what tribe that we are part of. The whole thing is we are all indigenous and we all come from different parts of the Americas that have different climates, right? Different organisms grow in California, like palm trees that don't grow here where we have buckeye trees. We have different ways of talking. We have different styles of dress, different ways that we even dance culturally, even though we all are the same hue of complexion. So yes, it makes sense that we're all in different tribes and whatnot. That's just what it is. In Africa, there was never wars and stuff like that until certain peoples came over there to start to manipulate it, right? They may have always had a little battle or a quarrel to see who could get who one's wife or a daughter to marry and things like that, but it wasn't, these huge wars and stuff going on, no matter how tribal it was, until certain peoples came over there with antics to cause distance and cause war and famine. So again, it doesn't matter what tribe we are part of, we are all still indigenous. We all had different languages, we all had different types of um, cultural ways. But at the end of the day, we were all harmonious with the land, with each other, right? And we are all indigenous. So again, we are indigenous. They know this. Black don't mean shit. Black is just black. Oh, my fault. Black means civilly dead according to their system that we're under. So the more that we say anything with black, the deeper we go into their system, and we only will get granted the privileges that they feel like we should get because we are going by the labels or the misnomers that they gave us, right?
Mhm. And, and
And
and it's
that's the
and
truth.
it's good, and it's good to point out that it's 2 points being made right now. The good point that you making, which is going into court legalities, you got to have the right terminology because they ain't gonna give you shit if you talk running there talking about foundational black. You got to be saying indigenous or your actual tribe that you was from. But the other point is, as far as
Hold up, not just that. The other thing is, think about what I'm saying. I don't even think you fathom what the fuck I'm talking about, bruh.
I
Think about
definitely
what.
do,
No, 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 no. Let me finish. Think about what I'm saying, bruh. Just imagine if
because I know words
everybody,
will spell
just imagine
things.
if everybody who looked like me and you knew what I was talking about, knew that we were already here, there would be a serious problem here in America because we will all be up to code. We would all know
And,
we all
and
indigenous,
that's what
and
I'm
they
telling
the
you is
ones who
happening.
came here and took the land. They the ones that need to go. We will all come together and kill them and get them off of American land. Because
We ain't
that's
that
what's
ain't it.
the
That ain't. I
same
don't
thing that
know
the
if that's
South
in our
Africans
nature.
doing to them white folk need to happen here in America. They the ones that's not supposed to be here. You get what I'm saying? So,
Right,
and
but
even
that
even
ain't.
with the even when we go to the United Nations, they will never acknowledge us calling each other black ever.
And guess what else gonna happen though? If you if this what I'm saying, the confusion come where the confusion come. If a white person go travel and go somewhere and they ask the white person, where you from? If you ask a white person here, you ask them where they from, they gonna say America. They gonna say I'm American. I'm foundational. I'm foundational white American or or some shit. Like
They just gonna say I'm American.
nah, they gonna say they American. But the thing, so how do we delineate? Is what I'm saying, and what I'm saying is it's
I just
already
told you
started to
we
happen.
indigenous. That's how. Indigenous.
Right. But what
Foundational
I'm
black don't
saying
mean
is,
nothing.
hold on. What I'm saying is, it's already happened. Delineation has already happened. Just the word that you want to put in there is indigenous, is foundational. And it's making the same, it's doing the same strides. It's helping
No,
the
it's
same
not.
way.
Show me. You can go on Dan Calloway YouTube channel and see exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know
Hold on,
nobody that's getting
I
anything
can tell
saying
you examples.
foundational black.
You gotta be kind of just, looking, kind of seeking for it to see it's making strides. Like you could already see now, right now. I'm about to tell you so a couple ways, like on factual.
Okay.
They are starting to, and sorry if I'm screaming, I don't mean to be screaming if I'm even feeling it, but they are starting to put crimes that immigrants are doing and start labeling them. Oh, they not African Americans, black Americans, niggas. They not niggas. They actually where they from. So they started doing that, and also, like I said, in these
How you
board
know that's
meetings.
because of foundational black Americans and not because of people doing their ethnographic research? How do you know
Um,
that?
people, because foundational Black American is getting out there. Ethnographic research. I bet you the majority of people ain't doing that.
Yeah, because
A
most
lot of people
people,
is hearing about this FBA.
yeah, because guess who's pushing it? An agent.
It's,
Like Dr. Umar Johnson is an agent. They in a boule.
what I'm
Again, do
saying
your
is, brother.
research.
What I'm
You
saying
don't
is,
even
but
know
what I'm
who I'm
you talking
talking
you
about.
okay?
I
Every
know who
time I
you
say
talking
that,
about.
every time I say that, you go to talking about the
And I
person.
be
What I'm
breaking it
saying,
down. You ain't getting it though. It's cool.
hold on.
It's
What
all
I'm
right.
saying, hold on, brother, hold on.
I don't
Let
get
me
it.
talk for a minute. Let me talk for a second. What you keep saying is, when I bring that up, you keep talking about a person that's pushing it and where he came from or whatever. Then you talk about the words in it. What I'm saying is what it's doing. I'm not saying nothing else. Like, you might not like the name, you might not like who pushing it. I'm saying
I
it's,
never said that.
but I'm saying regardless, what it is, it's delineating us. It's actually doing what it's doing, is making waves. You should see how these people are acting, bro. You should see how these, and I don't want to say, you know what I'm saying? We on film. I don't want to say what I really want to say, but you should see how these people is
Immigrants.
acting, man. Huh?
Immigrants.
No. I'm not. I'm saying them, and you should see how, you
You
should
talking
see.
about Jamaicans and Pacific
No. I can.
Islanders and
I'm gonna tell you.
people.
I can
Yeah.
tell you. I can tell you. You should see how the immigrants, the Africans, and the Caucasians is acting towards it. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. They calling it. No matter what we do, we cannot stop being. If you want to say we indigenous, Indian, black, we can't stop being that. Whether we agree or disagree, that's our lineage. That's our culture.
No,
You know what I'm saying? We
I
can.
totally disagree with what you saying, bro. We ain't
What you think?
black ain't part of our lineage and black ain't our culture. It's not. That's
No,
not
I'm
us.
saying, brother. I'm saying, this is what I'm saying. I'm saying it's all these names, whatever you want to call it, it's our blood, it's our cult, it's our ancestry. It's we can't change. We can't
We
say,
can. The
we
same
can't
way they
wake up the
changed.
next day. We can't wake
We
up
can.
tomorrow and say, oh, I'm
Yeah, we can.
Ethiopian now.
We can. Because didn't they change us? Didn't they warp our minds to the point to where we
No,
start
sir.
calling each other niggas and
No,
black?
what I'm saying, no, sir. What I'm saying is Caucasian, what do they call Europeans? The Europeans, they gonna be Europeans. Whether you change their name to African Europeans, European Africans, whether you change their name to whatever, they always gonna be Europeans. Africans, they always gonna, you know what I'm saying? We always gonna be that, whether they change our name on paper on the Census Bureau or not. We always gonna be a certain culture, and people are getting hung up on the names. Oh, it should be indigenous. It should be this. It shouldn't have this. This is it. I have never been. I'm
You
37.
just don't comprehend it, bro. You don't.
I'm comprehending, but I
You
don't know if
don't,
you
bro.
comprehended me.
Because you can't get nothing by calling yourself black anything, bro. That don't have nothing to do with us. Everybody in the world, not everybody, but
You're not
majority
hearing
of
me.
people in the world only accept us or think that we black because we think that we black because over generations we accepted it. When it first started happening, nobody, our ancestors didn't want that.
So Trey, if you travel to Africa and you go to the Caribbean, they gonna say you what? They gonna identify you as what?
American. Because they don't
They
call
gonna
each
they
other
gonna
black in
identify you.
Africa.
They gonna identify you,
They
huh?
don't call each other black in Africa. I have a friend that lived in Kenya for 4.5 years.
No, not
They
each
don't
other.
even
I'm
call
talking
each
about
other
you. What they
African in
gonna call
Africa.
you? What they gonna call
They're gonna
us if
call
we
me an
want to go?
American,
A
as
black American.
somebody I know personally who lived there in Kenya for 6 years and now lives back in Cincinnati. Malachi. Yeah, Malachi Bourne. His name is King Mally on Facebook. Yes.
They gonna call you
He's
a
American.
American,
They
not
don't
black
call each
American.
other black in Africa. They don't even call each other African. He said that that's some shit that we called in over here. He said they don't even call it Africa over there. I forgot the name they call it. That's some shit that they teach us here.
I mean, from my research, I don't know if that's one specific example, but from my research, you travel, you look like us. They call it. They describe you as a black American.
From somebody who has firsthand experience living in Kenya, they just call them an American.
But you can call a white man just an American. There's no
Yeah.
decipher. There's no decipher. So how do you decipher me from them or us from them? We're not the
Well,
same. We're
I
both
don't
not
know what it is like in Kenya because I didn't live over there. I just know what he told me.
right. But I'm saying what it is. And if you go around the world and you see they call you go around the world, they're gonna call you a black American.
They probably would.
That's what I'm saying.
More than
So for
likely,
the
they would. I
context,
can see
and
that.
that's my point right there. So for the context of that, so people know who we so people know just can understand that census right there. That's the word that we kind of got to go with in today's time. If you walking into a court, I understand it's different, but I'm saying
It's
just
not just
for
court; it's the whole
context.
world. Everything puts you under the term chattel slave, just because you're going by the term black. That's why anywhere you go in the world, if you calling yourself black, because they corporatized everything. All of these, America's not just a corporation. All of these countries are corporations. That's why they are with the United Nations, except for Ethiopia, I think, or well, no, Iran. Yeah, y'all the same countries we have war with: Iran, Iraq, Sudan. Them the only ones that ain't corporatized because they don't have private federalized banks there yet. But all I'm saying is that that's a problem, and we can change it because we never went by that. Just like I told you, we never went by the term nigga until they came and started pushing that on us. I was watching a documentary by Dan Calloway, and he showed a oil company from the early 1920s, and they said oil as black as a nigga, and it had a so-called black Indian on the front of it, or Indian. So these are derogatory terms. So I'm saying it. I don't care what it is. I ain't black. I don't care what you talking about, what you saying. I don't care about what Tariq Nasheed talking about because at the end of the day, my ancestors, our ancestors, they weren't getting progress by calling each other black or Negroes. They were getting progress and became a threat to the world when they found out the truth and went to the United Nations under the term indigenous or Indian. That's real progress. I don't care what no Boule member who worships Satan say. Again, all of it It's poisonous, bro. I don't even want to be on the live no more. I'm tired of repeating myself and talking about it. That ain't who I am. And if we continue to go by a label or a term that our enemy gave us, we'll never get progress. Well, who cares what everybody else calls us or think we
So you
are?
about to drop
We
off the
can
live,
change
bro?
the narrative by going to the truth. It doesn't matter if majority of people don't do ethnographic research. Yeah, because majority of people are lazy. Majority of Americans are lazy. Majority of Americans are lazy.
Bro,
That's why we
I hear
conquered
what you're
now.
saying. It's
Because we
just
don't
that.
want to, we don't want to, we don't even want to do the work to free ourselves. The fucking ICE would kill some guy over there in Minneapolis or was that Minnesota, uh, and some white guy came there with all type of tactical gear on and shit. And the people start throwing piss on him, cold water, it's freezing. So he was, throwing canned goods at him and shit. And a
So
black man went in there and saved him.
so bro, you mentioned you want to hop off. You going you trying to hop off, or are we gonna finish the conversation?
Okay,
We ain't
well,
gotta go that
all
much
right,
longer.
let's change the topic.
Shoot. Well, you got your last words in. I want to get my last words in. So on that same topic, man, I understand everything you saying, and I'm not even disagreeing with it. But for the purpose of current times life right now today, we ain't never seen a delineation go on. We've heard is, oh y'all, whatever they coined us, whatever they changed the Census Bureau to. And for us to delineate, it means a lot. It's making strides. It's doing what everybody would think a delineation would do. And I just don't want us who's in the same culture and people around the world in the same culture to get hung up on. If you go into court and you needed legalities, okay, you got to do the right terminology. But I don't know if we should be getting hung up on, oh, I don't like that term when we've been getting coined fucked up terms since they came here.
That's part of our conquest. That's what I'm saying. We will never get from up under conquest by referring to ourselves by the same titles or labels that the
and this
conquerors
and this is
gave
a
us.
different title.
It's not just about in court. This is about the world, period. Words are spells, words have powers. They were in the 12th century, they were referred to as black people and we were referred to as white people. If you know your etymology, that's the truth. Do your research. I told you last year to look into Dan Calloway. I think you just suffering, I don't know, man, but you really didn't care, or you just stuck on Tariq Nasheed. And I'm telling you, he ain't right because of where he come from. Just do your research on who the Boule is. Read they I done did it. So that's why I don't even care about none of that. Because I
Right.
know
'Cause
the
I
root
mean,
of
I
it
just
ain't
not hear
right.
the guy speaking, bro. I
You
don't
know,
hear
I heard him. Dr.
he
Umar
for us. He
Johnson
for
sound
us.
real good too. But if you
Huh?
don't know what's really going on, you'll think he for you and he not.
He ain't saying. I mean, bro, he
He
ain't
say
saying
a lot of
nothing that ain't
bullshit. He
for us.
say Pan Af, we ain't African.
Who say Pan African?
I'm saying when I'm talking about Dr. Umar Johnson. So I'm
Right. I ain't
saying
talking about him. You talking
I
about
know
Tariq
you
Nasheed.
not, but what I'm using him as an example because he's part of the same organization as Tariq Nasheed. Because they both go, what is it called? Fraternities. So they
But
took
they both
oaths.
ain't spewing the
They
same stuff.
Yeah,
They both
of
don't have
course
the
not. They
same.
two different routes. Just like before them, we had Marcus Garvey and we had W.E.B. Du Bois. They were both Boule members, but they both had different speeches and different ways of going about the masses of so-called black people controlling them, bro. They all working for the same thing. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying that we should detach ourselves permanently from that word. We have nothing to do with that. That ain't who we are, regardless of what everybody else say or think, because of what we all accepted for generations. We can always change that because we are the world. We are the culture. We run the planet. Everybody imitate us. Everybody want to look like us. Look, so on and so forth. That's all I'm saying, bro. I don't, I
Right.
got a headache, bro.
No, I got you. It's crazy though. We gotta say, bro, rage quit then. Hey, that's what it's called when people lead alive, they rage quit. But look, this is the thing, man. I get what he's saying with the words and spells, blase, blase. My point is the delineation is already happening. The delineation did not happen before FBA, Foundational Black American. Everybody's talking about, oh, we African American. Everybody African American. So we thinking everybody that's melanated is us, and we, before the foundational Black American, we were not delineating. We was accepting everybody. Anyway, I did not read some of these comments. I'm gonna read the comments real quick. Don Williams 97 said, I think this was to target a culture and to stimulate the economy. Women spend more money with men out of the household. He said, the facts are harsh but true. One of the biggest things I'm dealing with is how I view our women. I'm not going to lie. I struggle myself with stereotyping our women when in reality, I ain't no better, to be honest. All right, last comment. He said, I am actively training my mind to see the good in our sisters, but the media pushes a fucked up view of our women. All right, appreciate the engagement. Okay, so we done been on for about an hour, 45 minutes. You guys, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We kind of got into some other things. I like to say everything intertwines. So I mean, we talk about relationship topics, but relationship stuff didn't get this way for no reasons. Events happen, and I like getting to the etymology and stuff, the origin, why things happen. January 31st, we having another show, Elimination Dating Show, at the William Francis Theater. If you want to sign up, go to Kindle the Flames 1.0 on Instagram and fill out that job form, and we will send you some information about that day. All right. See y'all next Sunday. Peace.